Well, it's just 11 minutes after 2 p.m. right now here, so it's mid-afternoon and it's quite hot and humid, but there is a bit of a breeze blowing, which helps. I'm getting my camp sorted out and getting things that don't need to be back here but can be carried in the truck into the truck. Um, so that's been a busy time. I did go into town and buy some ice because I needed ice. So I have ice anyway. The cooler was full when I got there, so it looks like they just got a delivery, which means that all the ice places in town will have ice now, which is awesome. Um, yeah, last night it was the ice was as rare as hen's teeth around here. Anyway, I'll tell you a funny story. I used to go to Ottawa quite a bit. I have family up there. And they had a neighbor, my family did up there, that lived a few blocks away, who was developmentally handicapped due to a brain injury he suffered when he was a baby. So he had the mind of, I would say, an 8-year-old, somewhere in there, but he was a grown man. And anyway, sometimes I used to bring him to Perth with me because he loved to go to the junkyard. I had a friend who's passed on now, but he had a big junkyard outside of Perth, a big scrapyard full of old cars and everything. And this fella loved to go and to just see the old cars. He found it fascinating seeing cars piled on top of each other and cars pushed over on their sides. And, they put the car over on its side sometimes to remove the transmission or something like that. Anyway, he found that quite fascinating. And seeing cars that were all smashed up and accidents and stuff. And big commercial trucks. He liked to sit in the big commercial trucks and pretend he was driving them, the big 5-ton trucks. And sometimes they get a tractor from a tractor trailer or something like that in there, or they get an old school bus or step van or cube van or whatever. And he loved to see that stuff, and he loved to sit in it behind the wheel and pretend he was driving and stuff. Anyway, one day I was taking him to Perth with me, and he was talking about his uncle, who he seemed to really look up. He seemed to really look up to this uncle anyway, and he was talking about his uncle, and he was talking about what his uncle does for work, and I don't think he really had the word for job, but he knew what the job was. He knew what his uncle did. So he's describing to me what his uncle did, and for mile after mile, he's describing what his uncle does on his job in detail. And so he's telling me, he measured the wood and he cut the wood and he hammered the wood, and he's going through like that. Anyway, this went on for a long time. So anyway, finally, I says to him, I said, so your uncle's a carpenter. What he was describing is what a carpenter would do. So I said, your uncle's a carpenter. And he just looked at me, he gave me the most annoyed look, like, what the heck is your problem? And he says, no, he not a carpenter. He a building things out of wood, man. you know. So I said, oh, okay, I stand corrected. I thought he was a carpenter, but all right. He's a building things out of wood, man. you know. But anyway, it was kind of funny, kind of one of those funny stories you look back on and you kind of chuckle, a bit. But yeah, just something I was thinking about when I was reorganizing the truck there and bringing stuff up to it anyway. Um, some of the funny things that happen, some of the funny interactions we have with people. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to make some lunch, and then I'm going to put this phone back on the charger because it's not easy to get a charge into it. And so I'm going to put it back to charge anyway for a while. That's it. We'll see you later.